Electronic cigarettes were introduced into the US market around 2007 with a device that looked a lot like a regular cigarette. They typically had an LED tip that would indicate when the device was operational. This end is the battery, which is designed to look like the tobacco end of a cigarette. This end is a cartridge that's a nicotine reservoir and an atomizer, a heating element. As the user sucks on the mouthpiece to take a puff, the negative pressure triggers the atomizer, which begins to heat the e-juice, causing it to evaporate, and then as it moves away from that heated zone, immediately condense into a cloud aerosol. These devices were not particularly powerful, the batteries are small, and they didn't last very long. Users often got dissatisfied with these, and because of that, models started getting a little bit larger until they got about the size of a small cigar, like a Swisher Sweet or a Black & Mild. Around 2009, 2010, some of the first second-generation e-cigarettes came into the US market with these larger batteries. This is not a very large battery, but its capacity is roughly double the capacity of a good cig-alike first-generation e-cigarette. This is around 300 milliampere hours, whereas this one is around 600. Quickly, larger batteries were introduced with around 1100 to 1300 milliampere hours. And then another feature was introduced with variable voltage, where the user can select the voltage across a range using a rheostat, typically around 3.3 to 4.8 volts. E-cigarettes continue to evolve, becoming a little bit larger and a little bit more glamorous, if you ask me. This e-cigarette is the one that we actually used in our experimentation. It's a vision spinner, and it is supposedly variable voltage from 3.3 to 4.8 volts. This particular device varies from 3.18 to 5.8 volts. That's quite different from the labeled voltage. I think a lot of users actually liked this device because it was capable of achieving such a high voltage. This is another e-cigarette that still is within the second generation class, and it has a digital display that will sense the resistance of the atomizer. It will show you your puff count, and it will allow you to select your voltage. This voltage is set at 5 volts now, and I can adjust it down to 3.3. You press the button on these devices and puff from them. There's e-juice concentration, atomizer resistance, and battery voltage that are the main features that will affect the delivery of nicotine to the user. For this reason, I wondered, is it just producing more aerosol, or is the aerosol actually different in composition, meaning different in size distribution?